And what is going on, Chicago? It is your boy, Brandon Combs, with Windy City Sports Talk, alongside my guy, Ryan Fitzgibbons. What's going on, Ryan?
Happy to be here today, where we are back in the Fitz compound. Baseball has begun.
Now you can see us.
As our production staff has a little hiccup, baseball has begun. The joy of baseball. One of my favorite times of year. The weather is getting warmer because who likes the winter anyway? But I do know some people who do like the winter. But yeah, great times. Happy to be here. Happy to be hanging out.
That is good times. But Johnny says your mic is off. Can you hear him now? Try it now.
Accidentally hit the mute button. So here we go. Now it's working. Don't look at me like that,
dude.
You clown.
This is a night where we've got AJ Pierzynski tweeting at us.
He is tweeting at us.
I tweeted at AJ Pierzynski earlier. For all those that are listening to us, Johnny Torres, I hear you. I see you. I tweeted at AJ Pierzynski and I said, hey, AJ, you've got this new podcast you're trying to promote. We're trying to promote our podcast. You're trying to put it to where
kick it off and get more listeners. It's called Foul Territory. It's a pretty good show.
And so I said, for every day after you come on our show, we'll donate $2 to White Sox charity because that's what you're promoting.
Peace.
And he immediately tweeted back at us and said, hey, what's the show?
Exactly. Exciting stuff.
Well, this is it, AJ. If you're watching, this is the show. We talk some Chicago sports. I don't know if you guys all got some background noise. I know I've got a little bit in my headphones, but it might just be mine. I can work through it. But this is what it is. So AJ Pierzynski, man, I'm telling you right now, this would be a great spot to have you on for an interview because you've got two guys here that we don't conform to all of the stuff with ESPN,
the unwritten rules.
You can't demonetize us. We're going to have a great conversation because I think AJ is of the same ilk. He's a guy who's not afraid to speak his mind.
No, not at all.
I would love to have 10, 15 minutes to talk with AJ Pierzynski. So it says we are echoing.
Johnny Torres is going to reach out to AJ for us.
Let's try this. How about now? I don't have an echo now. So that the echo went away now. That's what it was. I needed to mute your mic. We had a double mic going.
It's not going to work for the whole show. But...
Fucking rookies, man. Calling out AJ Pierzynski. And we're having an audio issue.
Well, Johnny says there's no echo. I think FK AJ Pierzynski.
Oh, stop,
all right,
stop,
Johnny.
dude. Look, AJ,
for us.
Do not listen to Jonathan Torres. We don't subscribe to Jonathan Torres. This is my guy from Southside Bags. He supports the show. He sponsors the show. And he just may have cost us our best interview.
Yes, of all time. Our best guest of all time so far. Well, we've had a few pretty good guys at, who play pro bags. So we've had a couple good interviews.
We've had some really good interviews. We're going to have another good one tonight with Miguel Villa coming on the show. So that's going to be another good show. But let's get into it, man. Look, we've got a lot of baseball to talk about.
Lots of baseball to talk about.
It has been a great weekend.
4 games for the Sox, 2 for the Cubs, or 3 for the Cubs.
Yeah. The Cubs did not go so well, but your White Sox
split a 4-game series.
Luis Robert, who caught that ball today in center field and didn't tear an ACL, surprisingly.
Or break himself
almost
in
cost
half.
me some money today on one of my bets that I had going on, but luckily the bullpen gave up a couple more runs there in the 9th inning, made it interesting, and I made some money off of it. So Luis Robert, I was really mad at you for a little bit, but then I was all right with you.
because you almost lost your bet. That was one of the most incredible catches you're going to see in center field. Well, it was a unique catch because he's sliding away from home plate. He's actually on the ground, sliding away from home plate. He does one of those slides where they almost like they're sliding into second base, and they try to catch the ball, so they try to get under the ball as fast as they can.
AJ Przinsky just tweeted back, "I can't do it tonight. Sorry. Let me know about next week."
All right. Yes.
So you guys heard it here first. AJ Przinsky
is
live is going to be on Windy City Sports Talk at some point. Hopefully next week. Next week's Easter. I'll make it happen, though. I'll make it happen.
Maybe the week after we can, but we'll make it happen. I mean, maybe he can do it Saturday. Maybe Saturdays are easier for him. What is AJ Przinsky?
If we get AJ Przinsky on Easter, I might change my views on religion that we were talking about last week. I might start going to church again.
Yeah.
All right. So no, we're talking about, Luis Robert, the catch, the White Sox, their weekend. They had a really good weekend.
Yeah, I think they did. I mean, I just, you never want to extrapolate on an entire season for, 4 games or say anything, but I just think the look is different. Definitely a better defensive team than they were last year. And I even think without the injuries, I just think they're a more talented team, a better balanced lineup. Even with losing Jose Abreu, I don't think you lose much with Vaughn at first base. I just don't think so. He had a pretty good series, basically won the first game with a 2 RBI double into the gap, an absolute missile. A lot of things he hits missiles. He's always in control too of his batting. Like, he's never out of control. He's like a really good boxer. He never seems out of control when he's punching the other boxer. You know what I mean? He never seems like he's overdoing it, but he's hitting the ball hard at the same time. And to be able to do both those things, really hard to do. I just think he had a really good series. I think the big thing, and we talked about it last week, is that Yohan Moncada had an incredible series. He did have a bad error that cost them a little bit. Didn't cost them the game, but cost them a run. But other than that, he had a couple really great defensive plays that a lot of third basemen can't make. And hit 2 home runs, bunch of doubles. He's going to be good this season. And they say relatively injury-free or even on par with most other teams. I think they're going to be incredible this season. I think they're definitely going to have over 90 games. One. You have them at 97. I had them at 93. I mean, yeah, it was a good look, man. It's just the aesthetics of it. It just looked good. It looked good, like it was going to work out. But we'll see.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we've got the White Sox. I still got some music playing in the background. Jesus, I'm crow.
I'm going to bring up.
We are rookies.
Comment. You get AJ, I might come bursting through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man does.
Hey, so I just tweeted back at AJ Przinsky and I said, look, if live doesn't work for you, we could do anything that works for you. We could pre-record it. We could do whatever you want. So we'll see what AJ Przinsky says back to us. And for those of you wondering, it is the real AJ Przinsky. It's his new Twitter account. It's a handle. It's verified. And Fitz saw that he was trying to promote his show, and I shot my shot on Twitter, and we got a response. So did you see the other comment here? You don't have to unmute your mic. There you go. Keep your mic muted.
Okay. Stop
unmuting your stuff. Stop touching buttons. I'm never buying you whiskey again. So AJ Przinsky, we'll see how that goes. I did see Doubting Thomas's comment says you need to blur AJ's face if he joins the program. Mike Scioscia is probably still looking for him. You know what I can't wait for? Michael Barrett. We're going to play word association with AJ Przinsky. And the first 2 words I'm going to say to him are Michael Barrett.
He might not be too happy about that.
Has he ever spoken about that? Like how he how he felt about that or what that was to him?
I don't know if he said much about it.
I don't know what he said. I don't know if he said a whole lot about it. I know that he didn't like it. I mean, he had a big bruise on the side of his face, and
Michael Bird was sort of a weird guy.
Yeah, he was. Like I don't know. We gotta get these audio things figured out. But Johnny says you nailed it right on the chin, Combs. I mean, on the head. Look, Cubs fans, we're gonna have fun with it. Look, I love AJ Pierzynski. I mean, there are a few White Sox players again, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The White Sox are not one of those teams where I dislike them. You know what I mean? They're not the Cardinals. They're not the Brewers. The White Sox, to me, are still a Chicago team, and I still support the White Sox. I still like watching their games. You know, as long as the Cubs are not at the same time. But I'll still watch their games. I still cheer for them. I love, Tim Anderson, and I love Andrew Vaughn and what they've got going on. And I want to know from AJ what he thought of that experience, like what that was like for him playing at Wrigley Field.
It was pretty great. It was a pretty crazy game. That's when those matchups, those Cubs Sox matchups, were just like, I mean, it was insane. I mean, I think by that time, that was the year after the Sox had won the World Series. I think that was 2006, if I'm not mistaken. And AJ was at his craziest, pretty much, and got pissed off. Well, didn't really get pissed off. Actually, something dropped at the plate. He dropped his helmet or something like that. He goes to pick it up, walks by Mike Barrett, and then he punches him because he thought he was coming at him, which he really wasn't. Mike Barrett was kind of a weird guy.
Yeah, that was one of those times that I didn't understand it. Like, I didn't understand what Michael Barrett was doing. I didn't understand what the whole thing was. Like, I guess he felt like AJ came in too hard, which, in today's game might play a little bit better because you're not allowed to do anything hard in today's game. But I don't know. I didn't know what it was about then, but that is definitely something that if we get AJ on the show, we're going to talk about. But the White Sox this weekend, I felt like they had a phenomenal weekend. Going 2-2 against the defending champion is no joke. And this Houston Astros, granted, no Jose Altuve, no Michael Brantley, missing two real key pieces in their lineup. Still took 2 games from the White Sox. Now, when I showed up today, the first thing you said was, they're not the same team. And my retort to that is, well, maybe the White Sox are as good as I've been telling you they are.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. They definitely have the talent. That wasn't the problem. It's not just. I think a lot of the problem was in between the ears. It wasn't their actual talent. Plus, you have a lot of injuries. 23 out of the 26 starters last year get hurt.
Yeah.
The opening day starters get hurt for a lengthy period of time. Tim Anderson, who they have the graphic up, they're below 500 when he doesn't play. He played 79 games last year.
Right.
So, I mean, he's your spark plug. Luis Roberts, and every time, just today's game, they probably lose without Luis Roberts on field.
Yeah, they probably do. And for those of you watching, feel free to chime in, chat, do all that. I mean, we will bring up your comments on screen as we've been doing. You see Johnny Torres here says, "Wait, Combs shot his shot. I shot my shot. It's not like Bags. I actually hit this shot, so I don't know what to tell you. If we're having any audio issues, please let us know in the chat. We will fix them as we go on in the show. I did see Johnny here said that Fitz is not sounding very well. I won't say exactly what he said, but it could just be because it's Fitz. I mean, he never really sounds good.
No.
I don't know how that works, but so
I looked at it, that not sound good. I'm like Lucas Giolito's pitching.
like Lucas Giolito's pitching.
That was my only problem this weekend was he can't throw for strikes and his stuff isn't that good. Usually a guy isn't thrown for strikes because he's either overthrowing or his stuff is like way, it's way too good and it keeps dipping out of the zone. But he
was
was
bad in both ways, and they're just lucky that he didn't give up more runs than he gave. But I was the only guy I had problems with when it came to stuff wise and actual look. He worries me a little bit, and he was really bad last year too.
I'm not sure if that's better for anybody, but let us know if that's better. I think I may have fixed Fitz's mic issue, but we'll find out. So, for me, the White Sox had a great weekend. I don't think they need to change anything. I really don't. Just keep playing your game.
Yeah.
Keep playing ball. Do what you got to do. I was not impressed with the Cubs this weekend.
Well, you like Dansby Swanson. You were all worried. You had your jazz hands going for Dansby Swanson. You were all worried and bothered and hot bothered about him because he had a bad spring training. Maybe he was trying a new timing mechanism or whatever the hell he was doing. I think Dansby Swanson looked good. If that throw he made from his knees was ridiculous. Keeps pumping out hits. It's just only him and Ian Happ are hitting. You have to play with 9 players. You can have a couple guys not hit, but you can't have the only 2 guys hitting the ball.
Dansby Swanson was phenomenal this weekend, and I know that I was a little worried about him coming out of spring training, only batting 100 and taking until I think the final 2 games to finally hit a home run. But he looked phenomenal this weekend, and he robbed William Contreras about 3 times yesterday.
He's a great defensive shortstop, and he's won a Gold Glove, at least one. I don't know if it's more than that, but he's at least won that. And I think sometimes guys in spring training, once they start hitting their stride in baseball, like Dylan Cease had a bad spring training. Did anybody? Maybe Ohtani had a better start than him, but maybe not. I mean, he was brilliant against the Astros on Thursday night.
Shohei Ohtani.
And he's just showing.
Is going to look good in the Cubs uniform next year.
Unbelievable. Their losses were biblical. You think they're going to pay for him?
I think that's why they didn't spend money on Trey Turner this year, and they spent it on Dansby Swanson instead.
I don't know. I hear he's going to get 11 years, $500 million.
Dude, I would give him 11 years, $8 billion. Is what I would give Shohei Ohtani. We're going to talk about this later, but he's doing something now that I think is absolutely unreal. Like it's
going to start pitching with his left hand.
Yeah, and I like it's just one of those things. And like I said, we're going to get into it later, but he's amazing. For the Cubs, though, I like Dansby Swanson. I like what we saw with him. Ian Happ picking up from last year. Looking good. The rest of the team, like I said before the season started, was we have some question marks in the lineup. You've got guys in the lineup that just
there's holes in that lineup. Yeah, there's holes in that lineup. Well, I told you about Cody Bellinger, but I thought this year he could hit a little bit better. But the thing I think. In a way, I think Nick Madrigal could still be a 300 hitter. Now, whether he ever has the power that matters in major leagues at this point, I don't know. But I still think he could be a 300 hitter. He had a hit today, played third base. So he played third base there. It's going to be totally third base by committee. Half the team is going to play third base by the end of the year. So you had Madrigal, you had Rios play third base. Didn't he play the other day?
Yeah, and then Wisdom had a home run today.
But he wasn't playing third. Wasn't Madrigal playing third?
Madrigal was playing third.
I didn't know if he pinch hit or pinch ran or something. So the one thing that's crazy, and Madrigal can run too, but the one thing that's crazy is these stolen bases too. I mean, the game looks so much different. Every ground ball is almost a hit or a hit because you can't really position your players the way you want to. And then everybody's stealing bases. Andrew Vaughn had a stolen base. The guy has a bottom half like my grandmother. And she's been dead for 9 years. I mean, he can't run. He's like the Paul Konerko of the White Sox right now. And he stole a base.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys stealing bases at will because of that disengagement rule, which I think it's hard for me to believe that doesn't go away.
So they said it's not going to go away. They said they will alter some rules, but they're not going to change these rules. These rules are not going away anytime soon. They did say, though, that they are willing to make minor tweaks to make them work better for the players. They're going to take the players' input and they're going to figure some stuff out. But my question is, man, you get some of these plays like we saw Pete Alonso this weekend run past first base, beat out a throw to first, run past first like they always do, walk back to first, but he took so much time walking back to first that he caused a pitch clock violation for the hitter. So they called it a strike.
Yeah.
On the batter.
Bizarre
So
play.
starts off with the count with 0-1. You can't have that in the World Series, man.
No, I don't see how you can. I don't see how you can have a guy gets on first base in the World Series, the seventh inning or the ninth inning, or even the seventh inning, and it's a 2-2 game, and you have Tim Anderson get on first base. That's a double. If you walk him, it's a double because he's stealing second base. I mean, even they were stealing bases against Maldonado, who's probably the best defensive catcher in baseball, or one of them. He's at least he's
the top five
for sure. And they were stealing bases easily against him, and you could not steal bases against Maldonado in the 21 playoffs. You could not.
Yeah, it's all around the league. I mean, even on opening day, they showed the graphic that opening day last year, the league was 6 for 11. On opening day this year, they were 21 of 23.
Yeah, and the Seattle Mariners, what were like 10 of 10?
Really 10 of 10. They've got more stolen bases now than the Cubs have hits.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what that says.
I don't know what that says either.
About the Cubs, but thanks, Doubting Thomas, for saying. I have no idea what was going on with our sound, but Jeremiah's checking in again. Or are we going to Doubting Thomas? Wow, we both have the control now. Ricky Henderson would steal 312 bases. Yes, he'd have to get on base 312 times, but he might. The guy walked a lot.
He would have had 312 this weekend.
Yeah.
His first week, Ricky Henderson would have stolen the show.
Ridiculous. And this is a joke. Is Ohtani the most marketable player in baseball? Says Jeremiah. And I think we touched on this last week, maybe the week before. Like, nobody has to. He should be. He should be the most marketable guy in baseball, but he's not, because they don't market him correctly.
Doesn't market anybody. You know Shohei Ohtani's biggest what he is going to make the most money on this year is for Japan Airlines.
So dumb. Like I said, does Yao Ming? Everybody knows who Yao Ming is. He was totally marketable. He was doing like Reebok commercials and all this crap.
How does Shohei Ohtani not have his own Nike cleat?
Exactly, or something like that.
I don't get it.
Well, that Nike Air movie. What do you think about that? The new.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I think
I'm gonna watch it.
Interesting, man.
Yeah,
I definitely want to see it. I don't know what I've heard some of the story behind it. Like they went through it in that documentary they did recently on the Bulls, but I think this will be a little bit more in depth. And they even talked to Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan's like, I want Viola Davis to be my mom. Only the best actress in the world, or one of the top actresses in the world. Like Michael Jordan is such.
Have you watched 80 for Brady yet?
No, I haven't.
I won't.
Why? Would
I'm not. He's got the cheerleaders from his first season in the movie.
Yeah, I mean,
they're all like 90 now.
Yeah, you have all these old ladies in there. Although Sally Fields, I mean, not anymore, but she looked good for a while.
Johnny Torres says, I don't know about Yao Ming, but I'm familiar with Chow Mein.
Chow Mein, yeah.
I had some of that last night for dinner.
Oh, really? Yeah. We have a pretty good Chinese place around here. I'll have to order some one night you're over here right before the show, and then you'll sleep during the show.
Maybe we can get Michelle to come out of the house and come over here, and we'll have some Chinese food.
This show is going to get you divorced.
No, dude, if I haven't been divorced by now, the show isn't going to do anything for me. All right, so we've got an interview today. Our Southside Bags Star of the Week is Miguel Villa. We're going to bring on our guy, Johnny Torres, to introduce him. So give me 1 second here. Let me find the button. Johnny, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Yeah,
You can.
I know the dulcet tones of Johnny Torres.
That's the sound of a professional audio. FYI,
You
take
son
down
of
notes.
a bitch.
And I have to leave Fitz's camera on the screen when I'm not in solo mode because that's the only way I can get his sound to work right now. I don't know what's going on. We're trying new
We're
software.
changing-
We're trying to figure stuff
Yeah.
up, but hopefully by the time we have AJ Przinsky on the show, we'll have it all figured out. I'll have a mic I don't have to hold. That'd be great.
What's going on, guys? How's everything?
Everything's good. Johnny, I
Yeah.
was saying before the show, you got a name, Johnny Torres. You sound like a bad guy in a Western. Like you'd be wearing the black hat in a Western movie. Maybe Good, Bad, and the Ugly, like, or something
I've been
like
working-
that.
You're definitely
Johnny
the ugly.
Torres.
My cleanest would look. No,
No, you would make a bad.
Do you
Clint
smoke
Eastwood.
cigars? I mean,
Well, there might be something different inside of the cigar wrapper.
there would be a different inside mine.
But
wow.
Johnny. So Johnny, you got to see us both on Thursday night, man. I had a
Good
good
to see you,
time.
buddy.
I don't remember most of the night because you're a jerk, and we're announcing my birthday after every match that you announced. So I think I had about 45 shots that night.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having both of you on Thursday at Bourbon Street. Great times, man. We had 40 shooters. Great turnout. Again, I had to drop the tournament because we were at 41. But needless to say, it was fun, man. It was a pleasure to see Fitz, man, roll up there. I was like, damn, what the hell?
I came a little later after the Sox game. I was at my dad's. But it was good to
I-
see you, though, Johnny, for sure.
I'm pretty sure you were at the country night down the next door to us. Because
No
I
way.
swear I saw
No
you
way.
coming. I saw you coming through those doors, but I'm not gonna say anything else.
Be careful,
but,
his
yeah.
wife's watching.
Yeah, she likes country.
You think I'm getting divorced?
I'll listen to any music. Yeah, about it. She already texted me we're being too loud, but well, that was before the show, though.
What are you drinking on over there?
Standing around a little bit, but
What are you having over there? Bourbon?
I got bourbon Maker's Mark. A little bit of Maker's Mark to smooth things out tonight
Yeah, on a Sunday evening.
on
Sure.
a Sunday evening. What's your Sunday evening drink, Johnny?
Water.
Man, I'm drinking a knockoff Red Bull. I was at Aldi this weekend and I saw it. I said $5.
You're
let's try
drinking
it
an
out.
energy drink at 8:00 at night, 7:30 at night.
Dude, I could drink a couple of these and go to sleep like nothing.
What the hell?
Same thing with coffee.
Insomniac.
Dude, I'd be running around the basement like
No.
naked if I was drinking energy drinks right now.
I had 4 Red Bulls at Bourbon Street, and that was already late.
Dude, what?
Yeah, something about it.
I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, I think we have to talk about your bedtime routine.
Dude, I
Want to make sure your
we did find
circadian
out, though?
rhythms are right, Johnny.
What we found out on
We need to give you
Thursday.
some sports medicine.
What we found out on Thursday was the answer to Fitz's weekly question because I found my limit.
Oh, I was going to mention that.
I found what my limit is when I can't throw a bag because I finally got a pro partner in the second tournament,
wish
and
I
by
could've
then
done
I
that.
couldn't even see the hole.
God, I wish
Like,
it was
it
on
was-
video.
Yeah, who did you have? Hisner, right?
I had
Or
Hisner, yeah.
top.
Sure, he was happy about that. He's throwing
he,
four backers.
He wasn't
Can't
until he
even
saw
find
me
the damn
throw a
hole.
bag.
Now, the thing is, Hisner was probably or more drunk than Combs, but he was throwing awesome still. That's the difference
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, that's the difference. Is
Yeah.
he's good.
He's good.
And I'm not.
Trash.
So speaking of somebody who's good, we've got the Southside Bags Star of the week is Miguel Villa. Why don't you tell the people about Miguel?
Absolutely. A great friend, Miguel Villa. He is currently the ACL Great Lakes Conference Director. He's the one that everyone runs to with any issues that we might have that we cannot resolve on our own. He is a former ACL pro also. And if I'm not mistaken, he is also part of a podcast by the name of Cornhole Culture and is also a member of the organization Chi-Town Baggers. The one and only Miguel Villa. Give it up.
What's going on, Miguel? What's going on?
Thanks for coming on.
Hey, how's it going? You hear me
Going
good?
well.
Every time Johnny, yeah, we got you. Every time Johnny introduces somebody, he's like, "Give it up!" Like we have a studio audience that's gonna like start cheering or going nuts for you. I always feel like I gotta stand up and just be like, "Yeah, what's going?" Like I don't know. It's always a weird intro.
We need a wave. We need a wave or some shit.
Yeah, we have to have an intro.
Speaking of waving, bye, Johnny. All right. So what's going on, Miguel?
Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm
Good, man.
a Cubs
Good.
fan, so I'm glad we have
Oh, he's already gonna say it.
Atta boy.
I'll allow it,
Get the streak
Miguel.
going again.
He's a fellow podcaster. I'll allow it this time.
right.
I'll allow it because he's a Cubs fan.
But I might, well, I might Mike Barrett him in a minute.
If I get hit in the chin, you guys heard it. It was premeditated. So,
Right.
all right, Miguel. So you're from Southside of Chicago. Why don't you tell people a little bit about like?
Hey, why are
you
you
know,
a Cubs fan? Never mind. I'm sorry.
I'm from the
Miguel.
South Side too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
we already know there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in
Sounds
Little Village. Yeah, I grew up
Very
in Little
cool.
Village all the way till 6th grade, and then I moved to 79th, like in Pulaski, over there by Bogan High School.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yep.
So I didn't go to Bogan High School because I didn't want to go there. So I ended up going to Ag.
Yeah.
On 111th in Pulaski.
Absolutely. I'm 115th in Pulaski. I lived right around there with the
Yep.
family for years. So, yeah.
So you went to high school with my wife.
Yes, I believe
There
she
we
was a
go.
senior when I was a junior. Like I think we were
Okay.
only 1 year apart. So,
Great.
but yeah, I mean that's where kind of I ended up playing bags in the first place is at the ag school.
Oh,
some
really?
guys introduced
Wow.
them to me. Yeah. So it's been a while. It's
Was
been
it
a long
like
time.
something you guys did in the gym or what?
Well, they actually ran a tournament, and
Really?
yeah, we ended up getting me and my partner ended up getting second place. We lost to the guys at some twins that they were great in every single sport. So
Don't you hate those
they were-
guys?
hey, they're the ones that groomed me to like. I play volleyball with them. I play soccer with them. You know, they taught me bags. You know, and then I just took it to my neighborhood, and I was always had a set of boards in my car, and we were just, you know, playing bags with my friends all the time during the summertime. So that's how I started everything.
Do you feel it always came easy to you
Yeah,
playing bags?
um,
Or was it something hard to acclimate to, or were you always pretty good at it?
no, I was pretty good at it. I mean, as long as you have, you know, hand-eye coordination, you know, all the people that play bowling, that they
True.
bowl, they play darts
heard
and
that.
stuff like that, like play softball, baseball, like all those guys are always good. You know, if you have an like athletic background, you get the hang of it really fast. Yes, we run several leagues in the city. And one of the leagues, it's on Tuesday nights. And 2 weeks ago, there was this girl never thrown bags before. Like her bag was not flat at all. Like she was just going, you know, flopping the bag over. And she had a background of softball and, you know, being an athlete in high school and in college. So I gave her 5-minute lessons, and before you know it, she's throwing a flat bag and she's, you know, a natural. So yeah, some people are natural at it. Some people take longer, but
That's like any other sport, right? Like there's, you know,
Yeah.
One of the hardest things I think to do is pitch in baseball, and it takes forever for some guys to start to pitch well. I mean, look at Dylan Cease. It took him years. He's one of the best pitchers in the league. He's going to win a Cy Young eventually, but it took him a while. So I think a lot of sports are like that, right?
So you give lessons.
yeah.
How much I got to pay you to make me good?
That's a lot of money. Man. That's a lot of money. We're gonna need psychological lessons first.
I always give free lessons because I want people to get better, and I want them to get more, you know, acclimated to the sport. Because
Right.
people that suck don't come back to it, right? Like I forget it. Like I'm not good at it. I'm not gonna practice it, you know. But once they see 1 or 2 bags in the hole that they throw, then they get the itch, like, okay, I'm getting better, I want to keep practicing and so forth. So especially in the city, it's a lot of social people or social players, and we try to teach them as much as possible.
Johnny
so
Torres says that I can start a GoFundMe.
He is the bad guy in a Western.
And then my wife chimes in and says, we'll have to take out a loan. He needs all the help he can get.
What kind of interest?
Wow.
On that loan?
What
Interest
kind of-
rates are up, man. I don't
what
think
kind of
it's
support
time.
is that from the wife?
This isn't the right time. Interest rates are up. She's got a good point. She's definitely the brains.
I'll tell you what.
Well,
Are
if
you
you
still
got
on the
Adam
Southside
history,
Chicago?
I live
Yeah.
in Berwyn now.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So we'll have to have you by the house. I'll throw up the boards. I'll put some steaks on the grill. We'll have some beers, and we'll throw some bags. How about that?
Oh, absolutely. I would love that.
All right. So we've got a question every week, and I found my limit last week. So he's got to ask you his question that we ask somebody every damn week.
Well, I can.
And we've never really gotten the answer. To be honest with you, nobody's ever actually given us an answer as to what their limit is.
Not a drink amount. No.
I know mine.
Performance enhancing drugs and bean bags, Miguel.
Mhm.
And when I'm talking about performance enhancing drugs, I'm obviously talking about alcohol. Is there an alcohol limit that makes you a better player? And what is the limit to where you're all of a sudden terrible? Or do you not know that limit, or do you not drink? That's
So,
3 questions.
I do drink while I play. The thing is, so what I've learned is that when you're throwing really good and you have, let's say, 4 beers, you want to stay at that 4 beer alcoholic level content in your body, right? So
you
like
want to fall off, tired or whatever, and you
Right.
don't want to go too far.
go too
either,
far.
right?
Yeah. And then your brain pretty much like, when you're doing something drunk, and you go back to being drunk, you like that muscle memory like goes there, right? And so like if you're really good at with 3 beers, like your muscle memory, like that's your best, I guess. That you can
No,
train
it's a good
right?
point. Yeah, you calm down and you like let your body take over, pretty much.
Right. And sometimes and people do know their limit. Like people, do play around with, this is exactly where I'm at. I need to stay here. It's just like when people talk drunk and the truth comes out, right? Like, you're comfortable and stuff, and and it's like the same thing with any muscle memory or anything that you do. It's like it's like when you're going home and you're drunk and you don't know how you got home the next day. Like, how did I get home? I don't remember getting home.
Yeah, you're
like you're just on.
you're hypnotized. You know how to get
Right,
home
exactly.
anyway. Like you're just
Yeah.
your body takes over, your subconscious takes over.
Yeah,
Downing-
you're on
It's
autopilot.
me on Thursday.
Yeah. Downing Thomas says my sweet spot for this program is 12 to 14 beers. What's your sweet spot for this program, Brad?
I start drinking at noon since we go live at 7, and I see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the type
no,
of
look,
liquor
when-
But
too,
maybe
like-
maybe we are onto something here, because Miguel did say something like a lot of people know their limit, but probably don't want to say it, because then if you're working against them, maybe you give them a couple more shots. They're at their
I
fourth or
try
fifth
that all
beer.
the time. I try it at all the time.
Do that with Johnny Torres.
And like if you practice and when you're 7 beers in, you practice at 7 beers in, like once you get to 7 beers, that practice comes back, right? Like you're practicing at 7 beers. Like
you got a point
like,
there.
so
That's genius.
the people that drink the most, like and like get drunk really like and play really good is because they're always playing drunk, right? So I mean that's
That's how
like
they
me,
learned.
like-
Yeah.
I have to have Mexican beer for me to like, be good, I guess. If I drink Coors Light, Bud Light, anything else, like it's not the same. I'm not the same. So
Yeah.
even the type of
All
alcohol
right.
you drink is
So if you come to Bourbon Street and we're partners, I'll get you a bucket of Coronas. But if we're
Yep.
not partners, you're getting a bucket of Miller Lite.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Laced with Jameson.
Yeah.
But you were saying something about it depends on the type of alcohol you drink. You think?
Yeah, it does because when I used to go to national tournaments and they didn't have Mexican beer, I never got comfortable. I never got in my sweet spot. It's like I'm drinking, the same amount of beers, but obviously the alcohol level is not the same, right, as a Bud Light compared to a Modelo. So it's like, I was never in my sweet spot, I guess, when I drank those different beers. So, and then I drank 8 IPAs one time, and I was horrible.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you don't know the alcohol content, and after you've had one, especially if they're done right, and you have 4 or 5 of those puppies, it ain't the same as a Miller Lite. Johnny Torres comes in with a lie over here. I hardly drink. No wonder I suck at bags.
Yeah, no. Even if you drink, you would still suck at bags, Johnny.
Oh, I don't know. Johnny did pretty good when he was on my team.
That's because you were on his team. Yeah. I saw some of the shots you were hitting. Like, I mean,
Did see the winning shot.
I did see the winning shot. Look, so Miguel, let me
other
explain this
shots
to you.
suck.
He hit a shot that it was a close game. It was for the win, and he nailed it. But it was like watching. You ever when you're growing up and you start playing basketball with your friends, and one of them starts shooting the ball between their legs. That's what it was like watching him.
The grandma shot, the granny shot. Stop it.
So what's your bag of preference?
I grew up throwing a really slow bag because that's what it was, 5 years ago. But now I throw like a medium bag. Right now I'm throwing Surefires. So with the Surefires, they're a little faster than a carpet or anything. I'm still a carpet thrower, but I now, because the game changed so much, you need to throw a little faster bags to keep up with everybody.
Yeah, I've kind of tried a little bit of everything. Like I've started out with some Titan bags. I tried some Surefires, had a set of Nolas, and to me, I like the Surefires the best. To be honest with you, I got this set of I actually won them at an event in a set of the Surefire 911s, and I love them. I think that each side, like, it doesn't matter which side it's throwing. I feel more comfortable with that bag than I do with any other one.
Yeah, it's a good medium bag. You got your slow bag, your fast bag, and then you got your medium bag. And Surefire is a great medium bag.
For sure. So I always have. So he has his question every week, and I always have my question. But my
don't even
question
have to ask.
get people in trouble. Okay, my question is designed for you to either take somebody's money or to have somebody take your money. So I need you right now to call out one ACL pro that you would take right now, and he couldn't touch you.
There's probably there's 256 pros right now. Every year there's 256 pros. I could probably call out 100 pros that I could probably beat.
But I want you to call. I want you to call out somebody that you know, somebody you're going to see within like the next couple of weeks. That's going to see this show and is going to be like, oh, really?
Yeah, I think a good game would be me and Tony Mayball. Tony Mayball, he's from Indiana. He's a rookie.
Yep, we talked to him.
So he's still a rookie. So he's still learning a lot of. He still has a lot to learn. So his first national is going to be next week. I'll be there watching. I'm actually going to be commentating on one of the broadcast courts in the nationals tournaments. Every national moving forward. So I'm going to be a commentator for a broadcast court. So I'm going to go to all nationals. So even though I'm not pro this year, I'm still going to go to all nationals. So that's exciting.
So Tony Mayball, who watches the show, who I talk to quite often actually, is who you're calling up. So that's going to be an interesting one. So when you get to
Awkward.
actually play him and get to talk to him, we're going to need like some sort of live feed for this. Like I'm going to need to see how this plays out because maybe he's a beast. At least to me, but to me, everybody's a beast. So I guess maybe.
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
not that
all I
good.
got to do is block him, and then he won't know what to do.
Wow. Here we go. I
no
say that.
airmail game is what you're saying.
I say that
No,
to people. sometimes.
he's a great slider.
Yeah.
So once you block a great slider, then they have to go to their other game that might not be as good. So
Maybe I have a chance against Mayball now because I can throw a good block bag. I can't hit the hole, but I can throw a bunch
There
of
you
them in front
go.
of me.
Yeah, right in the middle.
yeah,
It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, and if you're gonna throw a block game, you have to know how to airmail and you have to know how to push. If you can't do either of those or at least one of those, you have zero chance.
Johnny Torres is trying to set it up for this week at Bourbon.
Two men enter, one man leaves.
Johnny, I will not be at Bourbon this week, so please don't make it this week. Let's go next week. I can't. I'll be traveling.
Come
for
on.
work.
No
I'll
one
be
wants to
gone.
wait for you anyway.
But
Yeah,
this would be amazing.
Me and Tony Mayball will be in Corpus Christi, Texas,
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'll find him obviously, and I'll try to
Oh,
record him.
wow.
We'll do it in a national, at a national tournament with national boards, and I'll get it recorded and go.
Got that
go live.
audio. I'll find him.
That's awesome. All right, so Corpus Christi, Texas. That's where you're going to be at this weekend. That's the Nationals.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. You have any before we let you go? Do you have anybody you want to shout out? Any sponsors? Anything you want to let the people know about?
I mean, shout out to Chi-Town Baggers. Chi-Town Baggers has been around for 5 years. I'm part of the organizers. Chi-Town Baggers is the one that started pretty much everything, all the competitive, cornhole here in Chicago. We're gonna have over 85 events during the summer in the city. We're gonna have a lot of leagues. We're gonna have over 10 leagues in different bars. So Chi-Town Baggers on Facebook. We're gonna post everything there. It's gonna be a very, very busy summer.
So he pulled a power move here, Johnny Torres. He pulled a power mover on the Southside Bags Star week, and he said, "Shout out to Chi-Town Baggers." And how many tournaments are we running over the summer over at Southside Bags?
Okay,
You're on mute, you rookie.
Well, we deserve it at this point.
I said, "Oh, now you want me on camera?" No. Power to Chi-Town Baggers. Nothing to do with Southside Bags, of course. You guys do your thing up north. Stay the fuck away from us. No, I'm kidding. You guys are doing an amazing job. Keep it up. I'm a follower, not a leader, so we'll just hang out here in the South. No big deal.
I hang out at the north side all the time. I'm always up at Wrigley Field, so you'll have to let me know about some of those tournaments. I'll come up and throw. Don't worry, Johnny. I'll wear my Southside Bags jersey. All right.
I'm not worried. You should be worried about Michelle. That's what you should be worried.
No, you should be worried that I'm the one going to represent Southside Bags at a tournament. That would be bad.
No. It's good. Some of the guys that shoot at Southside Bags go out there, and I feel they represent Southside Bags well. You got guys like Ryan Ferguson. You guys got Val Chavez going out there. We have Looney. We have Dom. LoJack. So yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, they're in the Tuesday league at recess right now. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe one of the guys they named their team Southside Bags. So I was like, what?
Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, because we started Chi-Town Baggers in the South Side, but it was all just American Cornhole League, just regionals and stuff like that.
That's right. You guys used to shoot at Magoo's, correct?
Right. Yeah, and we have a league that's been going on, a winter league, for the past 4 years over there by Justice Illinois. So like, yeah,
You're speaking of Valladolid?
yeah, Pescadon, the old Pescadon.
Yeah, yeah. That's where I started throwing bags a few years ago. That's when I first met you guys. Man Cave,
Yep.
Oscar, all them guys.
Yep.
Yep, that's when my life got ruined when I got introduced to bags.
I thought that's when you met Combs, but
Oh man. All right, Miguel. Well, we appreciate it, man. Have fun this week in Corpus. Hey, look, if you're ever looking for a guy to come out there and call some tournaments with you, man, hit me up. I'm always willing to get on the.
good luck on the podcast, Miguel, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank
Combs,
you guys.
Combs, before you offer yourself or your services to anyone, please rectify this microphone situation.
Dude.
I thought it was fine now.
I got.
All right, so we kicked Johnny off the podcast. Just kidding. Hi, Johnny. All right. So thank you, Miguel. We appreciate you, man. We'll talk with you soon, and have fun out in Corpus Christi.
Yep.
All right, thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Nice
Thank-
talk, Miguel. For sure.
Thanks, Miguel.
All right, so that was Miguel Villa. Johnny Torres, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming on, even though you talk shit.
No, I don't. I got tired of commenting that you guys sounded like crap, but it's all good. This is like a
Jeremiah
mafia
said this is
or
like a mafia origin story.
Speaking of mafia, next week we have Jeremy Snellgrove. The Forget About It.
Yes.
We will be interviewing him next week, so looking forward to that. He's actually one of the Chi-Town baggers, Northsiders, who comes out to Bourbon. Oh, he's actually going to be here at Bourbon on Thursday. So
Jeremy Snellgrove is the only partner I've had at Bourbon Street that has taken me to a King of the Hill match. It's the only time I've been to a King of the Hill was when Jeremy Snellgrove was my partner.
and you guys got double dipped?
No. We lost in the King of the Hill match. It was
okay.
all my fault. Like, I had only been throwing for like about a month at that point, which was really bad. And like, man. So I'm gonna talk about coming down to Bourbon again. So
But all joking aside, Combs, you've been getting pretty good. I watched you this past week. You did a good job. I think you held your own over here.
All right.
So
He's learning.
It's definitely working out for you. So Michelle, keep letting him come out. He's getting better.
Oh boy.
you know what? I still send every morning. I send that over to Billy. That screenshot I took of when I beat him. I send that every morning. I say,
Speaking
"What's going on,
of,
Billy?"
if I have a couple more minutes to discuss this, but this week, Friday, we had a blind draw at shortstops, right? And so probably
Dark, right?
30 minutes into the tournament, we lost power. We lost
You guys
power
all played
for.
through.
So I made the announcement that if you guys wanted to play, we can continue to play. However, if you guys want to cancel it and kind of start the next morning, I would say like 99% of the people wanted to keep going. So Gorski brought out some pucks, some light pucks. I was parked facing like one side of the boards, and the bars manager was parked on the other corner. So we both turned on our vehicles, and we managed to finish off the tournament. Power came back on probably halfway through the final match. So that was fun.
Jeremiah Murray says when someone says you held your own, he usually doesn't speak great things. It's kind of like when somebody says you have a great personality.
Yes. It's got a great character.
Absolutely. Oh, typically, when
She's
somebody
very
says
smart.
that's a euphemism for you fucked up. Yep. Like, you held your own. It's like you tried. Yeah.
All right, Johnny. Thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it, and
Good to see
we'll
you
be
again,
talking
buddy.
about it next week. We got Jeremy Snellgrove, so we'll talk to you soon.
All righty, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Johnny. All right, so that was Johnny Torres and Miguel Villa. Hey, look, man, it's always great interviews when we have these guys on. ACL pros, we've had amateurs on. I mean, we've had a lot of really good talk with guys who are just really good at throwing back,
Yeah.
and it's been fun.
Yeah, good times. You know, Miguel seems like I mean, it was a fun conversation, especially when we got to the drinking part. But no, just talking about, the actual, some of the strategies and stuff like that, like blocking and other things. It's fun to talk, and it was fun to go there this past Thursday.
The next time that I play against Tony, though, I'm telling you, that's the first thing I'm doing is throwing blockers. I never even really thought about that. Like, there are some guys that I see that that's the
only thing I can
do.
do.
Airmail, so I do try to throw a block, but I never thought about that with a pro because I'm always like, well, he's a pro, so he's just going to airmail the shit out of me anyway. So
I don't know if it was audible or not, but I did burp during the interview pretty loudly.
I did hear that.
First time burping during an interview. I did
was a
mute
pro.
my mic.
I was a pro. I held my. I didn't laugh like an idiot.
You almost did.
I almost did, but I didn't laugh like an idiot. But so Jeremiah says, I can't get anyone to play me down here in Central Indiana. Well, Jeremiah, you're in luck because I am actually going to be traveling to Central Indiana soon. So when I do travel to Central Indiana, I will have to get with you, and I'll come play you in bags. I'm terrible, but I'll come play you. That's fine. I always keep my bags in the truck, so I'll have them with me. So next time I come down, we'll definitely play. Johnny Torres says I like to block, cock block. Jeremiah, they call it cornhole, and they never play it.
Doubting Thomas. I'm not sharing it. You share it.
Showed on the subtitles.
It probably did.
That is terrible.
Yes. That is terrible. We're never having AJ on the show. I mean, we pretty much we tweeted AJ. We did everything right marketing wise, and then we totally ruined everything. We basically made his decision easy not to come on the show. But no, I think he'll come on.
He tweeted back at us and said, "Let us know." So we're going to let him know when we can do the show. Hopefully, we're going to have AJ Przinsky here in a week or two. It'll be absolutely amazing. Just
we are.
Conversation.
It's happening.
And the things that we could talk about with him and behind the scenes stuff that I'm sure he would like to get into. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've already been thinking of questions to ask him while you talk instead of listening to you.
Speaking of while you talk, you want to get into Fitz gibberish?
Yeah,
let's. That time of the week again. It's Doubting Thomas's favorite time of the week, and
well, that's what he says. We're not sure if that's true.
It's called Fitz gibberish. Let's get into it.
All right, here we go. It's another edition of Fitz gibberish, a diatribe, conspiracy, and an island in the middle of unapologetic and most of the time inaccurate sports talk. While I was wondering why Roger Clemens, who joined the booth in Thursday night's opener in Houston, went with the fat lesbian addicted to bath salts look in retirement, former broadcaster, you should have seen him. He was trying to suck in his gut too. He was doing the I'm a little overweight sucking gut thing, and it was weird. Anyway, former broadcaster. Well, now AJ's definitely not coming on. Former broadcaster and world's largest boob, Hawk Harrelson, was getting ready to show his ass on AJ Przinsky's new podcast, Foul Territory, which I do like, and that's the truth. When he had this to say about his time with the White Sox.
People, said, how you like retirement and everything. And I'll call occasionally, I'll call them back and I'll tell them I didn't retire. I got retired.
Happens to all of us at some point.
Exactly. Well, I got fired is what it boils down to.
It happens to all of us.
And I'm sure that they will deny that. But it's what led up to that and everything else is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Shots fired. Whoa. Yep. He also went on to tell the story about how he invented the batting glove. Ted Williams him to move around and how the head of the White Sox broke Porter secretly running the Sox. Pretty much there's the jazz hands again. Pretty much has the air of Jerry Reinsdorf. The first two stories he's told millions and millions of times and weren't really that interesting in the first place. The Brooks fucking Boyer QAnon conspiracy theory is new and takes the cake. Anyone who listens to the show knows I'm not a friend of Ryan Storfia, or more pointedly, the land of perpetual mediocrity. But has anyone worn out his welcome? You had the loop on, I think. Anyway, has anyone worn up his welcome more than Hawk Harrelson? Long ago, I was sick of hearing him scream, "Get on back there!" for a ball that was hit to right field 20 feet from the warning track. You could play a broadcast from 1998 of Hawk and one from 2015, and the only thing that would change is the name of the players. Hawk. Hawk, if you're not going to innovate, change with the times, and yes, improve, you're going to get retired. And you should have taken your cue from AJ when AJ was telling you it happens to us all, because he was trying to give you some grace there. The only shame is it was not sooner for all the dipshit behaviors that you could discredit the Sox for. And there was one today in the trailer park face and vibe of Mike Clevenger. Anybody who wants to go look at his post-game interview. But you picked Brooks Boyer. He's the head fucking marketing. Not scouting, not the GM, not the team president. What influence does he possibly have? The game and possibly life has passed you by, Hawkaroo. Yes! We might have killed another person here on the show. How about an opening day? How about an opening day you can be a little bit more optimistic about? I give you the tweet of the fellow broadcaster you hated and tried to sabotage every chance you got, Hawk. Steve Stone from opening day. This is his tweet. Today it's time for some emotion. Baseball has been my love and my life, as well as my passion for too many years to count. Bat hitting ball and glove catching ball is my symphony. Guys in the flower of the youth running to make extraordinary plays like Luis Robert is my ballet. It starts today. You didn't like it.
No, I liked it. I've got this new soundboard that you gave me on my computer.
I know. No, you
That's kind of running a word.
Yeah,
Right,
it's fun, isn't it? Yeah, and I guess my final question is: I don't know if you saw the Roger Clemens thing, or Roger Clemens even doing the broadcast. Maybe go back and look at it. He's going to do more broadcasts too. It sounds like he's not a dumb guy, but I think the baseball might have passed him by too. He's talking in platitudes, talking in generalities, not really getting deep into the game enough. Like you watch one Stone and Benetti, and I know I'm biased, but who gives a fuck? But you watch one Stone and Steve Stone and Jason Benetti broadcast, and they're getting deep into the game, like super deep in. And yes. I've always loved the way Stone does, and I know you do. But you think this Roger Clemens, his return, I guess, to baseball is going to work out?
I hope it does, but only because of what he means to the game. And him and Barry Bonds not being in the Hall of Fame is a joke, and we've talked about that before. It's an absolute travesty that they are not in the Hall of Fame. I don't necessarily think that every former player, every former coach, every former athlete belongs behind a mic, and it's been proven already for me with the Cubs broadcast, because it is terrible with Joe Girardi added to the mix. It is terrible.
I watched some of it, yeah.
And I was like, and I'm sitting there.
And I really like Joe Girardi. Always have.
I love the games, but I after watching it for the first 4 days, I almost just want to watch the games and do a simulcast myself. So
yeah, we could do that.
It's just not fun. Like Joe Girardi is terrible, and I didn't hear, how he was on the broadcast. Did you watch any of the interview? Like, how was he on the broadcast? Was he somebody who you would like to listen to? Was he somebody who you could listen to all your games every day?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, That's what I'm saying. There's some that won't. So I do hope that it works out for them, and I hope that baseball has some. And I know the Hall of Fame is a different entity from baseball, right? But baseball has always had this huge pass on the steroid era, and the players have always paid the price. So I hope that he can be back in it. And I hope that baseball accepts him back, and I really do. Because he deserves to be a part of the game.
I mean, I think, and we've talked about this before, there's always that like asshole. There's always that part of it where they were both total assholes. Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds. They were just pricks. And I think that's part of it. Other part of it is they were caught red-handed and kind of denied it a little bit too much. We had Jeremiah checking in again.
Was talking about naming the spots that were floating in his vision.
Yeah,
he should have gotten out of the booth as quick as he went to check on Todd Frazier.
The funny thing is I have a picture of Hawk with an eye patch on because he got his eye fixed. I think it was like glaucoma or something like that. Yeah. And he had an eye patch for a while.
I remember that,
which was ridiculous because the guy's ridiculous. But that was even back then. Not the Todd Frazier thing was
it was a classic, though, man. I loved listening to Hawk Harrelson. You didn't like listening to Hawk?
I mean, I went through a lot of stages. Like I went through the basic stages of any relationship with him where I hated him at first. I thought he was a fucking boob. Like I don't mind if you're sort of a fan for the team. Like even Steve Stone does 50 to 60% sucks. He's on their side. But I want to know about the game. I don't give a shit about anything. You're supposed to be an expert. You're supposed to be telling me about the game. And he never advanced. Past a certain point, he just stopped advancing and changing his talk track. Like there were times where he definitely was a smart baseball person. And he'd get detailed. He'd get into the weeds on some games. And then he just stopped doing it. And it was all about Carl Yastrzemski or, the time Mickey Mantle and him invented batting gloves. And like, it was the same story over and over and over again. And I want to hear something new. And like I said, if you compare it to, and he did not like Steve Stone, that was public knowledge. There was, reports on that. But every single broadcast that Steve Stone does is a little bit different. He repeats himself a lot. Yes, he does. 200% AJ blocked you guys on socials. Johnny Torres saying that AJ blocked us. Okay.
And it's all your fault for saying fuck AJP. Stupid. But look,
it's tough because he is a Hall of Famer now.
Like you're talking about a guy who loved Harry Carey right up to his death.
Yeah,
like, I love.
And there's a lot of similarities and parallels there. Harry Carey was
not a good announcer after like 1990.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like he was an entertainer.
Like, did you know that Sosa backwards is ASOS?
Yeah, that was the. It was so bad, and the stuff with the Hideo Nomo, with the slanted eye thing.
Yeah.
It was so bad, but he was just an entertaining figure.
He was,
and he was just so. And I felt the same way about Hawk Harrelson. He was just the he gone. Like I mean, we still say it at softball games. A guy say he gone. Like it's one of those like it grabs some bench. Like
exactly.
Those are things that will stay with you forever.
Yeah.
And sometimes you hear people with paying homage to that too and interpreting that into
on other places. They'll say it on Sports Center sometimes, like when a Sox batter hits a home run.
How many guys before Harry Carey had a home run call, right? But how many people after Harry Carey had a home run call?
True. Well, I mean, you had Jack Brickhouse, but that was basically
but it wasn't always. Yeah, it was just there wasn't very many. Is what I'm saying. Like for home run calls, there hasn't been. But after the it might be, it could be, it is. Holy cow!
Yeah,
it became a thing, and now everybody has one. What's your favorite home run call of all time? I'll tell you right.
I always like Lynn Scully. Vince Scully.
Vince Scully is the guy that.
Vince Scully is the when he went transgender before he
he got me into sports broadcasting. Vince Scully did because
not
listening to
surprised.
that guy call a game by himself was art.
I listened to the game that he called. It was the first game that the Sox had played against the Dodgers since the World Series in 1959. And he called the game, and it was great. And to have one guy do what and you know this because you do most of this for our show. There's a lot of nuts and bolts to a show.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of little things you have to do that people don't see when you're doing it on the show.
Yeah.
And all the little things that you have to do for a damn 3-4 hour sports or baseball broadcast, there's a lot of filler you have to put in there. That's why I think the broadcasters count more in baseball and why the broadcasting is so good in baseball. I mean, it really is. There's no better broadcasting than in baseball. And maybe I'm biased, but I think that's correct.
I agree. I'll tell you my favorite home run call here in just a second. But Jeremiah says Harry's Cracker Jack rant may be the most priceless thing ever with the owners of Cracker Jack in the booth. I promise you, Jeremiah, that next week I will have that sound for you.
Yes, let's do it.
That is it. For those of you that don't know what this Cracker Jack rant is, it is absolutely amazing. I would not be able to do it justice, so I will have that sound for next week's show. So my favorite home run call actually comes from SportsCenter, and it was God, I'm gonna do it again. His name, the guy, the black guy who died, had cancer.
Oh God, Stuart Scott.
So
that's what I'm here for. That's my only job on the show, really.
Like he would say he would be doing a just replay, and he would come up and he would be like, Sammy Sosa says that is a great pitch for me to poop on. That forever will be etched in my head. Like whenever he would come up with that. For a home run, anytime a home run would be hit, like that would be his thing, and I loved it. It was absolutely amazing.
No, he
it's
was
11:30 and the ball is jumping. I don't know that one.
Maybe he was trying to text somebody else, Jeremiah, and he accidentally got to us.
But at any rate, we're going to
I do have the Cracker Jack rant, I think.
You have it?
Can we play some of this?
You should be able to. I don't see why. I can't hear anything if you're trying to play it.
Let's see if I can get this on here. We can talk about something else while I'm trying to get it to
All right. So speaking of something else, Shohei Ohtani, we got into it a little bit earlier. But Shohei Ohtani is having a glove delivered to him that has 6 fingers on it because his plan is to start pitching left-handed to some hitters. Is there anything this dude can't do?
Yeah, I know. With the pitch clock and everything.
He's not of this world.
And the chance of injury, and I don't know if it's a good decision or not.
That's what we said about him hitting and pitching.
Well, I had no problem with that.
Great decision.
I had no problem with that.
Well, right, but we worried about injury. We worried about, hey, what on days that he's not pitching, what is he doing to get ready to pitch? Is he going to have arm injuries? He's surpassed all of that. And you got to remember, we as kids, we come up in this game playing multiple positions. Our star pitcher of our team is usually either a center fielder or a shortstop when he's not pitching, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's what it is in Little League. That's what it is even in high school. So why wouldn't it work in college or in the pros? And now Shohei Ohtani is making it work, but now he's taking it to that next level, dude. He's not human.
Yeah,
he's gonna look good in a Cubs uniform next year.
He's not gonna play for the fucking Cubs, dude. You're out of your gourd. He's not. They're gonna pay him like $500 million. I think they already have something on the table, don't they?
The Angels are not going to pay him. They're not going to. How are they going to pay him and pay Mike Trout at the same time?
Because they have money to burn.
They don't have money to burn.
Well, they don't have the biblical losses that the
year after year
that they had.
If we were talking about the San Diego Padres, I would say yes, they're going to sign him.
Yeah.
Because San Diego Padres just keep spending fucking money. I don't even know where they just signed Jake Cronenworth to an extension. Like, I don't know where how do the Padres have all this money, but the Cubs and Sox are signing Trey Mancini, like Andrew Benintendi. Who's a good signing?
It was a good signing. Or Elvis Andrews,
Still not
who
Xander
had a tough
Bogaerts.
series.
He's
Elvis
still not
Andrews had a
Xander
tough
Bogaerts. He
series.
could
You
have
got Elvis Andrews at second base. Like they didn't
What I'm
really
saying is,
take
don't
anybody on there. You have a rookie in right field, and you're supposed to be going for a world championship. I know people do that.
But-
And Oxford Colas actually had a good series this past series, and it looks like he's going to be an impactful player. But teams that are really good, like we've talked about before, that don't rebuild every fucking 4 or 5 years, don't pick up Elvis Andrews to be your second baseman. And then maybe Romy Gonzalez is a good rookie. We're not sure. We don't really believe in him. They don't do that crap. They don't have Patrick Wisdom playing third, and then Nick Madrigal playing third, and then what is it, Eric Rios, whatever. It's Rios. He plays third the other game. Like they don't. Yeah, Alex Rios. So I mean, it's.
So, you want to hear my theory on the Padres? They backloaded a lot of these contracts. My guess is 4 years down the road, the owner's going to try to sell and make it somebody else's problem. He's going to try to win 1 or 2 World Series, make as much money as he can, and then sell and let somebody else deal. Because they have an insane amount of money between Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Fernando Tatis, who they put on 2 years ago. They signed him to an extension.
Are they still paying part of
Juan
Eric
Soto.
Hosmer's contract?
Yes.
Are they paying part of his contract to play for the Cubs?
Yes.
I love that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, all this money that they're spending, they're not going to be able to do it. Doubting Thomas. Alley fight between Fitz and Combs. You both get to pick 3 all-time Sox and Cubs as part of your alley fight teams. 4 versus 4. Who you got? Well, my number 1 draft pick is Michael Barrett.
Wait, are we saying who we would want to fight?
No, who we want to pick to be on our teams. It's going to be 4 and 4. You get 3 guys. I get 3 guys.
Michael Barrett, you're out of your
I'm
mind.
taking Michael. But you see that right hook? Ask AJ Przinsky if he wants to get hit with that right hook again.
You can ask AJ Przinsky that.
I will. I promise you, I will. If we have this interview, we're talking about Michael Barrett.
That's such a podcast question.
It's dude.
We
It's
do have a
going to
podcast though.
be. Yeah. I'll ask him ahead of time if there's anything he doesn't want to talk about, and if he says Michael Barrett, I'm going to end the interview.
For all my players, I'd have to go after 1980. Like I never watched Louis Aparicio play.
Right.
But if
It's
we're
fine.
talking about
Who
it
do
in
you
a
want?
fight,
I mean, Eloy Jimenez is a big fucking dude.
yeah, I know. Well, you know what? Lance Lynn seems like he means business. Like that guy
Lance,
is a
that's good
big
pick.
man, and he touches his balls a lot.
Yeah. My second pick, I'm taking Kyle Farnsworth. Do you remember Kyle Farnsworth?
You're just taking people who got drunk at
No.
bars with you in the fucking early 2000s.
No.
Yeah, you are, because that's exactly what Kyle Farnsworth did. He put his career down the fucking shitter so he could go get drunk and fuck weird women
No,
every week.
do you remember that fight that he got into with the Reds where he damn near freaking bulldozed
He
it?
was a big man. He was
So
a big.
I've got Kyle Farnsworth and
That's a
Michael
strong
Barrett.
man.
You got Lance Lynn. Who's your second pick?
Are we talking about fighting, or can
Yes,
we actually
we're
talk
fighting.
about? Well, I can't say no to Frank
Robert
Thomas.
Ventura?
I gotta have Frank. No. What is he gonna do? Put you to sleep? I'll take Frank Thomas. I mean that
Frank
you
Thomas.
cannot take. I mean the ex tight end at
Yeah.
Auburn, like the guy was intimidating just in the batter's box. So I'll take
Ooh,
him.
I got my last one. My third one, Glenn Allen Hill.
Yeah.
That was a beast of a man,
Yes.
dude. That was a
Couldn't
beast
really
of a
play
man.
baseball, but yeah, I mean he was
No,
okay.
yeah, no, dude, but when he put his jersey on, they had to cut his sleeves to have it fit.
like Todd Sauerbrunn, the ex
Yeah.
punter for the
Yeah.
Bears.
All right, so I've got Michael Barrett, Kyle Farnsworth, and Glenn Allen Hill on my side.
And I got Frank Thomas and Lance.
You've
Lynn.
got Frank Thomas, Lance Lynn. Who's number 3?
You know
I know
what?
who I would take.
You know what? Just because I think the guy is a part assassin, and he told the guy that drove the boat from Cuba
Oh God.
to Miami that he would, that he would strangle him to death or
Where you're
whatever he
going.
said to him before he got, because the guy wanted to stop the boat before he
Yeah.
got to Cuba. For anybody who didn't know this story, and I'm probably butchering it, but El Duque, the ex-pitcher for the Yankees, also played for the Sox, won a World Series for the Sox and Yankees. He was about to make it to Florida, and the boat guy got all weird about it and didn't want to land him there. And he knew if they took him back to Cuba, and we're talking, this is 15, 20 years ago, he's dead. He goes back to Cuba.
I'm actually breathing a sigh of relief because I don't know how you got through that segment and didn't pick Bo Jackson.
Okay, Bo Jackson.
Yeah,
But is it
no,
Bo Jackson with weird hip, or is it Bo Jackson
It's
without
Bo
weird hip?
Jackson. I mean, I don't give a fuck. It's Bo Jackson.
True.
I would have taken Bo Jackson. But
True.
you don't get to now.
I still have 4. I have 4, don't I?
No. We're the fourth
4
guys.
versus 4. Oh, we're the 4th guy. Oh, well then I
Yeah.
win. I don't even need a third.
Because you're gonna die in
I'm
2
taking El Duque back.
He's taking George Bell for both teams. That's a big man too.
Ooh, yeah, now he's talking shit because we traded Sammy Sosa.
Oh, there's another one. How'd you forget Albert Bell?
I was gonna say Albert Bell. I thought I had 4. Albert Bell was gonna be my 4th.
Yeah, I was gonna say you
I
got,
should learn to read. I never got to learn to read.
You could ask the Brewers second baseman how Albert Bell hits. Remember that when he was running? There was a ground ball and he just annihilated the
highest
guy?
paid player in baseball history for a little while.
He'd
With the
be
Sox.
charged with murder in today's baseball.
I know, because you can't run into a guy there. That's ridiculous. Talk about an asshole.
was a
Albert
great
Bell
question.
is a long reigning asshole.
Yeah.
Both the Sox and the Cubs had players on their team that were on steroids with cork bats.
Yeah, but I wouldn't take Sammy
Sammy
Sosa in a
Sosa?
fight. Have you seen that guy
No.
now? Dude's
First of all,
weirdo.
I know I can't say this, but I'm going to say it. First of all, he's white now, which is weird. He looks
Well,
like,
you can't
he
say it
looks like
because now
Michael-
it's okay because he's white.
he looks like Michael Jackson after the 80s. But
Ryan is looking for Albert Bell as a DH.
yeah. I mean, Eloy Jimenez had an okay weekend. It's going to be weird with him at DH. I don't think he likes DH.
So one guy neither one of us could pick for this was Anthony Rendon. Did you see that altercation he had with the fan?
I did not.
So he's walking off the field, and he hears the fan say something. I don't really. He said that the fan called him a bitch. Well, he grabbed the fan by the shirt and like pulled him down to the where the railing was at, and said some words to him, and then took a swing at his head, and he missed him. But he did take a strike to try to slap him in the face. I mean, he's got to be suspended, right?
Yeah, I mean, if that's how it went down, is this like some kind of roid rage or?
You can't do that. Look,
No,
when you become a professional athlete,
what do they call it? When the Pacers and the Knicks fought.
yeah,
I
the
forgot what
Malice
they
at the
call-
Palace.
Yeah, the Malice in the Palace. You remembered a name.
I did. I did.
Anyway, the Malice in the Palace. Yeah, I
On
remember
our
that.
test.
Was insane. And I mean, you can't hit fans. That's insane.
No, and that's the thing. Like once you become
And I don't see Anthony
A
Rendon
pro
as
athlete.
one of these like Albert Bell weirdos either.
a pro athlete or a celebrity in general, you, and as much as it sucks to say, but it comes with the territory, and you need to know this, you lose all ability to put your hands on a fan. No matter what they say. And as a fan, look, I don't condone going at guys personally. Like I'm not one of those. Like I will chirp, and I will throw stuff out there, and I will do all that. But I'm not going to go to a game and just attack somebody personally.
No.
You know what I mean?
So you would never go to a game with your dad and beat up the first base coach.
No, that's a Sox thing. That's a Sox thing.
I threw it up there for you.
Lobbed me a softball, but I just couldn't. I couldn't just do that to somebody. But for those drunk fans and sometimes sober fans, I mean, sometimes there's just assholes in the crowd or idiots in the crowd, however you want to call them. They'll say stuff. You can't do that.
No, and why do you even care anyway? What some douchebag from fucking wherever, the outskirts of your
in that
city,
situation
who's
that has
probably
something to
on
lose.
crystal meth. What do you think he cares? He's probably on bath salts with Roger Clemens.
Yes. You are the
Scissoring
only
him.
person that has something to lose in that situation. I mean, it's a
So in
stupid thing to do.
In a 12-second video, Rendon grabs the fan by the shirt through the guardrails and accuses the fan of calling him a bitch.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't
Like, you
get it.
Can't. So for me, Rendon, like, you have to send a message if you're MLB. You have to shelve this guy for a week. You have to give him like a 7-game suspension or a 5-game
No one
suspension.
comments on shit anymore either. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah,
know.
there needs to be suspension. This is even Phil Nevin, the manager. This happens a lot, unfortunately. A lot of times we just don't see it. You're going to hear things all the time. You hear a lot. This doesn't happen a lot. Where a guy's called a bitch and he goes after a fan. This does
the
not
video,
happen a lot.
the video that's taken is actually by another fan's cell phone. So it's almost like they were goading him into doing something, and they succeeded.
As Rendon jogged onto the field for pregame warm-ups, he said sorry and shrugged his shoulders. That was about it.
Yeah, I don't know. If I'm MLB, I have to send a message there. But
Well, we've talked about this before, even when Tim Anderson, who we both love as a baseball player, was going after Chuck Garfien, who's basically a freaking fanboy, White Sox fanboy. But he's going after him because he wasn't nice to him about the team last year when they went 81-81 and arguably have one of the most talented teams in the league. And he wanted Chuck Garfien to be nice to him.
Yeah.
What is Doubting Thomas saying now?
He just said the video was bad. And it was. I mean, it wasn't a very good video, but it was short. Like, it doesn't show the whole thing, and that was my thing. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't show the whole thing. So I don't know. You got to suspend him though, if you're asking me.
Oh yeah, I think it's a no-brainer, and I think there should be some commenting or say something, like someone be real.
Right.
No one can be anymore because of all the crap that we've talked about, a lot on this show about not being able to say this or that. And everybody's afraid. They might as well not say anything. And there's no discourse at all. So we don't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah. And I don't know. They got to do something, though.
I feel the beat.
Feel the beat.
It
means it's time for us to get out of here. We've been on for about an hour and a half now. A little bit longer than we normally go. Nicole's going to kick both of our asses.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. At least I get to leave.
You
have to stay and take the whooping. So
she'll be fine. Nicole's my wife, by the way, for all the people that don't know it up.
She'll be fine. Famous last words. I'll make sure your eulogy is epic.
I'm getting you high in my garage after this.